All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Sunday, March 2nd. We're still traveling. In fact, it's like negative a million degrees outside where we are right now, so it's hard to get hot when it's this cold because yesterday we did have two plays, right? Or three plays technically, one split. Um, Oh, for night. Yeah, we lose 2 units on the night. So hopefully we can bounce back a little bit today. We do have a decent NBA slate. We are traveling, so we're not going to do our normal full game breakdown where we go through each and every game, giving you my side total player props. We have just three plays here, four technically, but we're splitting one play. It's a similar play. We have two player props, money line, and then spread involved as well. So excited to jump into that in today's video. But like I said, recapping last night, really bad night there. Dante Exum, we said he needs the minutes, and he didn't get the minutes, right? He had like 4 points and was it one assist or one rebound? Doesn't matter, didn't come close, right? Our money line parlay, Warriors and Memphis. I like both of their spots, but they both lost outright. So maybe this traveling F here is a jinx or something like that. On the good news, good news here is that King Breezy's coming through with a 3-0 streak here of the ride of the day, and he's sticking in the in the team total category last night with the Wizards over 107.5. They come through with that one. That's three team totals in a row for King Breezy. Maybe we got to start calling him King Team Total. I know you said in your post yesterday, King Breezy, that you're like, if this wins, you'll maybe switch up the categories. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I wouldn't be mad if you stuck right in this lane. That is three in a row, guys. If you don't know what the ride of the day is, just use hashtag ride of the day in the comments or ROTD down below. I jump on board with one person's play, give you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. If you win, I continue to ride with your plays. If you lose, we shout you out. We got to talk about it, that type of thing. But yeah, keep on the streak there, Breezy. Guys, check in the comments. I'm on the go, not at the computer for the most of the day, so wasn't able to kind of publicize the ride of the day. But just know King Breezy, we're still riding with him. And if you want to ride with him, just check down in the comments. It's kind of the best way we can do it as of right now when we're traveling. I know it's not perfect. Speaking of traveling, we will be traveling tomorrow morning, so I don't know. I don't think we'll get out a video tomorrow, but stay tuned for that. But just assume no. But we'll be right back, ready to go on Tuesday. But what do you say we dive into play number one here? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Really do appreciate you guys tuning in, even when the videos are shorter, less plays. It is what it is. I have a life too, right? Let's go ahead and jump into it. Play number one is going to be Anthony Edwards here, over 26.5 points. I really do like this spot for him for multitude of reasons. Now, hoping he plays. He didn't play last game, right? And then the game before was the game before that he got ejected. So Anthony Edwards, for whatever reason, I feel like he was kind of on this little downturn where he wasn't playing all that great of basketball, right? But I kind of love the fact that he hasn't been playing basketball because he's just due to have a good game, and he's going up against the Suns today. Last time he played the Suns, he played pretty well, right? He had 33 points. That was back in late January, so just about a month ago here in terms of how he played there. He went 8 of 9 from the line, 3 of 8 from three, and then 11 of 20 from the field. This is just a really good matchup and good spot for him. The Suns, obviously not a very good team, or not obviously, but by the way, not a very good team against the ball handler, right? In the pick and roll situation, which is what Anthony Edwards loves to do. That's where how he's going to score the most of his points. In his last 8 games here, actually 9 games I can look at, 9 games against teams that are bottom 10 in terms of defending the pick and roll ball handler, he has gone over that in 8 of those 9 games. If we want to take a peek at the average there too, let me see if I can pull up a quick average here. Yeah, he's averaging 37.5 points per game during that stretch, or in that sample size. So I do like the spot here. Again, it's really focusing on that pick and roll, and I kind of love the idea that he's been in a little bit of a lull right now, right? It kind of started with that OKC game. He still ended up scoring 29 points, but it wasn't the most efficient. Then he had a really tough night against them, and then he got ejected. Then he doesn't play if I have those games in order. So, yeah, Anthony Edwards is due. This is a good spot against what I would consider a defense that is not in great shape. So, yeah, he should have the quantity. I know we're seeing, the Timberwolves get a little bit healthier and whatnot, but that doesn't bother me. Like, he's going to get his. He's the best player on the team, one of the best in the league. I hope he shoots well today because that would definitely help the case. Like I said, shooting 55% last time he played them was great, but I'm more involved in those, more interested in those numbers against the bad pick and roll defenses. So play number one is going to be Anthony Edwards there, over 26.5 points. Plays number 2 and 3 are, so by the way, quarter unit on these two each, half unit on Anthony Edwards. I'm going to say Anthony Davis multiple times there. Anthony Edwards, and then our last play is also another half unit. So at stake today, 1.5. But we're going with the home team here. Celtics on the money line and on the spread. Taking a little bit of a chance here. Jaylen Brown listed as questionable. Kristaps listed as doubtful, but really realistically, those aren't the guys that I'm focusing on in this game. So hear me out. This Denver team's obviously a very good team. They're playing good basketball. They are a little bit healthier than the Celtics. But what do the Celtics love to do? They love to shoot, and this is the early game. Celtics love to shoot the three. Denver's decent defensively down low, but they really aren't good defensively, up top. And we saw this game earlier this season. Celtics won 118 to 106. They were 10-point favorites, and they even covered the number, and that was in Denver. Now the Celtics are coming, and I think the Celtics shot I want to say they didn't shoot all that great from three either, which is pretty massive, right? But now you have the Celtics coming off of two straight losses, two straight kind of heartbreaking for the reasons of Detroit smacked them up, and then Cleveland they just kind of let it slip through their hands as the game went on and on. Like I talked about it yesterday, right? The Celtics looked really good in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, this is Cleveland's game. Denver playing decent basketball, but they've had some kind of mishaps here playing the Lakers. Okay, they lose to that. That was at home, right? That was that Luka go off game. Then they played Milwaukee and lose by 9 points. It's like this Denver team, when they play some decent competition, have been struggling. Now, I will give them credit in the fact that they went out there and beat up on Detroit, which is tough to do, right? Detroit's been playing really good basketball, but both these teams fairly well rested. I like the Celtics at home coming off of two straight losses. Again, primarily because of the three-point shooting. I think we're getting a good line because of Kristaps and because of Jaylen Brown. But if we have Derek White, Jason Tatum, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, I think the Celtics should be able to kind of roll with this one from the perimeter. If they don't hit their shots, then chalk it up, right? Like they're not going to do this. But yeah, we went Celtics on the money line and then an alternate line, taking another point there to get some plus money on the spread at 4.5. Now, I'll tell you straight up, like, would it shock me if the Nuggets win this game? No, I just can't make the same amount of arguments for the Nuggets as I can the Celtics. I think the spot's good, I think the situation's good, and I think what's going to happen on the court kind of fits the Celtics a little bit more, right? So, sure, you can kind of spin it and be like, well, the Nuggets should be able to dominate down low. If we're going to trade 2 for 3s all game long, then I still think that favors the Celtics. It's going to come down to them making the shots and taking take enough threes and making enough threes, which obviously that's the gamble that we have at our feet here. So yeah, call me biased, call me a homer. I do think this is a good spot for the Celtics, and I think you're rarely getting the Celtics, like I say in multiple videos, rarely getting the Celtics in these lines at home, throughout the year, right? You have to play a pretty damn good team to get some of these low spreads. So we're taking advantage of it today, hopefully. But again, we lost 2 units yesterday, so who's to say that I'm not the dummy in the room, right? I could look like a dummy for this one, but I could look smart, which doesn't happen very often. So I'm looking at Aaron Nesmith here over 11.5 points. Aaron Nesmith, speaking of the Celtics, obviously drafted him. You think of as a good shooter. He's turned into a guy that drives, gets to the rim, and actually uses his athleticism. Now, he's not playing like tremendously or anything like that. I'm not trying to make the case for Aaron Nesmith for MVP here, but what I will say is that he fits this Bulls matchup, I would say, superbly. Like, this is a Bulls team that we know is going to struggle at defending points in the paint, and especially at the rim. Aaron Nesmith scores 34% of his points at the rim. Like, it's crazy. He's going up against the number 30 team, the worst team in the league at preventing points at the rim there. We have no Benedict Mathurin either, right? So that's another spot where Nesmith may get a few more looks, may get a few more shots. His last 4 games without Mathurin, 13, 19, 17, and 12. We need 12 from him today, and I'd be a damn happy camper, even with Mathurin in the lineup. Even with Mathurin in the lineup, when we see, I guess, that Nesmith go up against a team that really does struggle against that zone, he looks pretty good. Now, does it come down to his quantity? Yeah, he's going to need to take a few shots, right? But when he's facing a bottom, last time he played a bad team, right? The bottom, a 10 in terms of defending that rim. He had 12 points against the Raptors. He had another good game earlier in the year. 13 against the Hawks, 12 and 12 against the Sixers and Pelicans. Like, Neesmith's going to need the field goal attempts, obviously, to score these points. But no Mathurin and the fact that he should be able to get to the rim should allow him to do just that. So we're kind of looking for, I would say, maybe 8 shots from Nesmith this game. And if he does that, he's averaging over 12 points per game this year. He's hit it in 66.7% of games. So if the situation fits him well, which I think we have a yes there, that's great. We still need those field goal attempts, which I don't think are going to be hard to come by. I mean, his last game, he only took 4 shots. Okay, in 35 minutes, though, right? Like, if he just plays those minutes, I think those shots would come because the games before that, 9 field goal attempts in 24 minutes, 10 field goal attempts in 33 minutes, 11 field goal attempts in 25 minutes, and then 8 field goal attempts. So outside of that last game, he had shot the ball at least 8 times. So if he gets 8 shots, we should be looking at a good spot here. And you know what? He's due to hit a couple threes as well, right? He can make a couple threes per game, which would obviously cut into this almost half this number. So yeah, Neesmith can go out there and be the Dante Exum of yesterday, in which I thought was a really good look and unique look, and he stunk it up. But I think Neesmith has a good game today. So yeah, not that I was the biggest fan of him when he was with the Celtics. I just think, the situation plays accordingly today. So that's what we have for you guys today. Again, those are 3 plays, kind of slash 4. First one's Anthony Edwards over 26.5 points. Then we have the Celtics on the money line and -4.5. Maybe it's a homer pick, but I think we're getting some good value at the very least. And then last but not least, Aaron Neesmith over 11.5 points. Will we go 0-3? Perhaps. Let's try and go 3-0 or 4-0, depending on how you slice it up. That's all I have for you guys today. Make sure to go ahead and comment 11 if you made it this far into the video. Really do appreciate it, and we'll catch you guys in the next one, right? Peace out.